Ever wondered what our world will look like in the next 10, 50, or even 100 years? Picture this. A world not much different in 10 years. But what about 50 or 100 years from now? Imagine futuristic cities and a whole new way of living. How will we commute to work, school, or college? What groundbreaking technologies will be at our fingertips? What will our cities look like? And, of course, it's a future filled with possibilities. Will this future bring us true happiness? That's the million-dollar question. And, spoiler alert, it's not a new one. People have been predicting the future since the dawn of time. Let's take a trip down memory lane and explore past predictions about our current era, the early 21st century, an age shaped by the internet, algorithms, and data. Are we living in the world our ancestors envisioned? Or is the future still a blank canvas waiting for us to paint it? Let's take a trip 120 years back to the early 1900s, where the concept of flying cars and futuristic lifestyles took flight. In the early 1900s, the invention of the first airplane didn't just revolutionize transportation, it ignited the imaginations of people around the world. As a German chocolate company, Hildebrands envisioned life in the year 2000 through a series of commemorative postcards. Picture this, people soaring through the skies in their own personal airships and gliders. Hildebrands dared to dream big, predicting a world where the sky wasn't just for birds, but for everyone seeking adventure above the clouds. But wait, there's more. Hildebrands also foresaw housing blocks on the move, transported by giant steam trains. Imagine entire neighborhoods traveling together, creating a mobile cityscape. Bold, right? And here's where it gets even more interesting. Their vision included entire cities encased in glass to shield them from the rain. The same series imagined vacations at the North Pole. Yes, you heard it right, chilling at the North Pole for a holiday escape. Now, wouldn't that be an ice-cool getaway? Take a look at the French prince from 1910 that dared to imagine life in the year 2000. It's a fascinating journey into the past, where aviators were believed to replace the motor car, and the future was as bright as the skies themselves. In this one, we see a gentleman in a glider casually grabbing a glass of wine mid-flight. More like a today drive-through experience. And here's a scene that's a cut above the rest. A man getting a haircut from his mechanical barber. It's like a glimpse into a futuristic salon where the barbers are actually robots. Now, let's step into the classroom of the future. Check out this contraption that feeds books to students. The words are magically played directly into their ears. It's like an early audiobook experience, a whole decade before the term robot was even coined in 1920. It's amazing how these prints from 1910 foresaw technological advancements that were still on the horizon. Now moving toward 1920s, where the vision of the future takes on a whole new level of sophistication. Fritz Lang's 1927 masterpiece, Metropolis, becomes our portal to an era of supersized cities, sleek skyscrapers, and, of course, flying cars. The whole aesthetic is straight out of the Jazz Age Art Deco movement, undoubtedly influenced by the rapid vertical growth of contemporary New York City in the 1920s. Speaking of New York, take a look at how the city transformed from the 1910s to the 1930s. It's like a visual symphony of progress, with skyscrapers reaching for the heavens and reshaping the urban landscape. Hold on tight because in the 1920s, the concept of flying cars takes off, and we owe a tip of the hat to early science fiction writer Hugo Gernsback. Check out this 1923 drawing introducing the first wheeled helicar. A levitating vehicle was speculated to hit the market in 1973.
So now, let's take a realistic look at the road ahead and what tomorrow's motorist can expect in the years to come.
Speed, safety, and comfort will be the keynotes of tomorrow's highways. A multicolored highway system may enable the motorist to reach his destination by following the correct color strip. The increased speed of tomorrow's automobile will demand that highway signs be larger and more simple to read, so that the motorist can anticipate his moves well in advance. If visibility is poor, our windshield becomes a radar screen, showing the outline of objects ahead. Or fog may be eliminated by dispelling devices along the right-of-way.
Jumping ahead to the 1950s, where a fascinating article took a shot at predicting the luxurious and convenient world of the year 2000. Behold the picture phone, a marvel from the 1950s vision of the future. This little device was predicted to let us buy products from a screen and have them delivered right to our doorstep. Talk about online shopping before it was even a thing.
Fingertip shopping will be one of the many homemakers' conveniences. This video console will be channeled into the store of her choice. There, a camera will scan a display of wares, which she will select by push button.
Now, here's where it gets a bit puzzling. The same article predicted that all our food would be made from flavored sawdust that could be recycled into clothes. The most interesting part is the role of atomic energy in this 1950s future. After the world witnessed the power of nuclear bombs in Japan, the article speculated that atomic power would provide 100% of the world's energy. They even dreamed of street lamps being replaced by microsuns powered by uranium, suspended 200 feet in the air. In reality, nuclear power accounts for only 10% of global energy, and those microsuns? Well, they're nowhere to be found. Talking about 60s and 70s, where the age of moon landings and Star Wars influenced visions of the future. Let's take a trip down memory lane and explore the iconic Hanna-Barbera animated series that perfectly encapsulates this era. The Jetsons, an ordinary nuclear family living in the far, far future of 2062. Despite the fantastic technologies, there's something undeniably 60s about it all. From Orbit City's googie architectural style, a futuristic design trend of the time, to the retro-futuristic outfits. As the end of 60s soared to new heights with the Apollo moon landings, dreams of space exploration reached a climactic head. Many believed that by the next 50 years, mankind would set foot on Mars. Fast forward to the 70s, and the dream of space colonization continued to captivate us. Check out this NASA video that dared to imagine a future where, by the year 2000, humans would have begun to colonize space. Picture this.
This is Taurus, the concept that has evolved from the work of these teams of scientists and engineers. They believe the huge space colony could be built before the year 2000. From dairy farms to manufacturing, the concept of living and working in space is a possibility with existing technology. That new space home, located 250,000 miles from Earth, would even have a far-out address.
Now, cruising through the radical 80s and 90s, where personal computing and home tech were paving the way for a futuristic tomorrow. Who could forget Back to the Future Part 2? In this 1989 time travel movie, Doc and Marty come to Earth in 2015 and brought with them a treasure trove of predictions, hoverboards, thumb payment systems, and even an automatic dog walker. In 1984, The Terminator gave us a darker prophecy, with the rise of the rogue AI, Skynet, taking over the world. It was a cautionary tale among many, warning us of the potential dangers of advancing technology. As the 90s rolled in, video games were unlocking new realms of digital immersion. The World Wide Web burst onto the scene, offering the tantalizing possibility of living inside a virtual reality. Enter VR headsets, like the infamous Virtual Boy from Nintendo, a quirky start to a future now realized with Oculus Rift and PlayStation VR headsets. As we journey through the decades and explore the diverse visions of the future, it's clear that each era painted a unique and sometimes unexpected picture of what lay ahead. From the 1910s to the 1950s and beyond, our visions of the year 2000 evolved drastically. Some predictions, like driverless cars and one-click shopping, have become a reality. Yet, there's a vast landscape of the unforeseen waiting to unfold. Looking ahead, Yuval Noah Harari, in his book, Homo Deus, anticipates a future where humanity embarks on a quest for immortality, with lifespans exceeding 150 years. Cybernetic enhancements, offering improved strength and intelligence, may become a reality by the end of the century. But it's not all rosy. By 2050, predictions paint a grim environmental landscape: deforestation in the Amazon, escalating wildfires in regions like California and Australia, and a global temperature rise of 3 degrees Celsius by 2056. The future's challenges are as real as its promises. But let's look to the stars. By 2100, space travel might become more accessible, with the potential for human colonization of Mars. The final frontier may no longer be out of reach. The future, an enigma wrapped in uncertainty. The beauty lies in the fact that each present moment envisions a future where we take full advantage of the newest technologies, pushing them to their limits. The 1910s gave us the marvel of flight with the newly invented airplane. The 1950s envisioned a world powered by atomic energy and filled with the promise of driverless cars. The 1960s and 70s set their sights on the stars, inspired by the ongoing space programs. Isn't it fascinating how each generation projects its dreams onto the canvas of the future? Our present, 2023. The last 5 years unfolded quite differently than many foresaw. Perhaps our predictions seem bold, but who could have imagined the twists and turns that awaited us? It's a stark reminder that the future is an unpredictable journey. So, what can we expect for the future, say, in 2120? My best guess? Expect the unexpected. Just as we look back at the predictions of 1910, people in 2120 may view ours as old, and maybe even less naive. The only constant in the equation of time is change. See you in the future. Signing off.